Oh, all right. Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited. I'm always excited to talk about what I do because most people don't understand death doulas and what we do. And I can talk all day about this, but I only have 10 minutes, so we're going to rush through. So, real quick, just so everybody can see my screen. All right. Yeah. You can see it. Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you. Yes, so I am a certified death doula. I received my training through the International End of Life Doula Association and my certification there as well. I am also a grief coach and a podcaster. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. Cat mom, backpacker, nature lover. So if you don't see me doing what I do, I'm out in the woods somewhere and you won't see me at all. So I want to talk quickly about myths about death doulas. When I meet people who have never heard of us, don't know what we do, there's a lot of great misconceptions out there that I always want to just kind of get out of the way at the top. Some people think that we are in place of hospice or medical care. That is not the case. We work in tandem with hospice and medical care. Most of us are not affiliated, but some of us can be. Some death doulas work directly with a hospice. Most of us are on our own. And most of us are also not medical professionals. What we do as death doula is non-medical. It's holistic support. So we don't administer drugs. We don't give prescriptions, none of that. So the other one, death doulas, I put this in there. That's deeply spiritual is my way of saying, I think a lot of people get the idea that we're going to come in with our sage stick and our patchouli and drum circles. And that's not, and all the things woo-woo. And that's not necessary. It can be. If that's what you want for your end of life experience, we're happy to do that. But that's not necessarily what we do. We work with people of all faiths, all backgrounds. Most of my clients have either, had some religious affiliation or another. I've had a lot of people who are atheists. So really doesn't matter what your background is. Our job is to meet you where you are. We also are not just there for the last 5 minutes to hold your hand as you die. That is something we can do. Absolutely, but that's not the only thing that we do. I work with people who are young and healthy. We'll get into that a little bit later. And lastly, it's morbid. It's depressing. I had the nickname in high school of Morticia Adams, for those of you who are Addams Family fans. Again, not the case. What I do is I feel very beautiful and fulfilling. All right, so what are some of the truths about death doulas? We can help decrease the need for emergency intervention. Watching somebody at end of life can be scary and it can be very confusing. And a lot of people will jump the gun and send people to hospitals when they may not need to or may not want to. There's just a lot of scary things that can happen at end of life, and having somebody on hand that can kind of understand the process and know what's urgent and what is not, and when to just let things do what they're going to do at end of life is huge. So we can help ease burdens on medical staff as well. Dying is unfortunately not simple like it used to be. There's a million decisions that need to be made, and different times they need to be made within. Understanding how, one of the breakout rooms, we were talking about hospice a bit, what hospice does, what they don't do, when you call them. And there's so much people don't understand about that and the services that are available to you at end of life. So we can help come in and help navigate all of those things. We also decrease burnout. If there's one thing we learned 5 years ago during COVID and the times thereafter, healthcare burnout is legit, and it's only going to get worse. The baby boomer generation is called that because it was the largest generation, still is. The disparage of numbers between people approaching 65 and over at this point and the number of caregivers is enormous. And there is just not enough healthcare staff to manage all of these people. So that's where death doulas are starting to come in to help people navigate all things end of life. We can also recognize and communicate, on behalf of people who might not be able to or understand when things of distress are happening. So we work in tandem with interdisciplinary teams all the time to be their voice when they need it. But most importantly, we support quality of life. And if you learn nothing else from me today, just understand my goal is to make sure that you have the best end of life experience possible for you. That's all we want to do. This is just a little fun fact. Most people, when I tell them I'm a death doula, are like, was that like a birth doula? And the answer is, yeah, kind of. We're just on the other end of life. Doula is just an ancient Greek word, doule, meaning female maidservant. So we've been around for millennia. We've been doing this for a long time, and we are modeled very much after birth doulas. So we can come in at any point in a person's life. Like I said, I've worked with people young and healthy, just getting advanced directive paperwork together because that's boring. Nobody wants to, nobody wants to do paperwork. Terminal diagnosis is terrifying. Finding out you now have an expiration date you weren't expecting, there's so much involved with that emotionally, physically, spiritually, and we can help you process and understand the grief and the work therein with your terminal diagnosis. Advocates for final wishes, I want to make sure, again, you're having the end of life experience you deserve and you want. And when you are no longer able to speak for yourself, I want to make sure your wishes are continuing to be met. Life review, this is my favorite thing. I love working with people to find their life meaning because every single one of you in this room, every single person on this planet, your life matters. You have had an impact somewhere on this world. And nothing hurts me more to see somebody at end of life saying, what did I do? This went by too fast. I didn't accomplish anything. My life meant nothing. It did. And I'm going to help you find that. I can help you find that lasting legacy, something you can leave behind for your loved ones, be it a physical item or non-physical. What sky's the limit with this? I help people write their obituaries, put together scrapbooks, write letters. There's a million things I can do to help you create a legacy so your name can continue on long after you're gone. Talked a lot about hospice, going back and forth between hospices, doctors, visitors. There's a lot. And I want families to just spend those days together being a family. I don't want you to have to worry about playing referee with the cousins that are fighting in the living room and meeting people at the door and constantly dealing with the foot traffic. Let me come in and help navigate that. And also understanding like what hospices are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Maybe they're not, and the family doesn't know that. I can help step in that and become a liaison for them. So, and here is the misconception about this is all we do. This is a part of what we do, though. We are happy to sit vigil with somebody in their final moments if their family is unable or unwilling to do so. Watching somebody die is very difficult, and not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. Our job is not to judge. Our job is not to force anybody to do anything they don't want. We're meeting people where they're at. Caregiver, I talked about burnout. We can help with that to recognize that early and negate it before it happens. We can also assist a little with funeral planning, understanding your rights and your options. They are different in every state, but overall, you can care for your loved ones at home, just so you know. And then processing grief. The people who are left behind witnessed a lot at end of life, and it's a hard space to be in and to understand everything you saw and witnessed, and to have somebody who's not going to go ew or judge you when you talk about the things that you witnessed or saw at your loved one's end of life. There's more. I could go on all day. I've given hour-long presentations before, but I only have 2 minutes left. So what to listen for if you want to help me find clients and referral partners. If you're hearing things out in the world like, man, I feel so alone right now, grief, caregiving, all things end of life can be so isolating. It's so easy to feel completely alone, and you're not. There are other caregivers out there, and there's people like me that can help. If you hear somebody struggling with a loved one who is declining and they just don't know what to do or what services to look for, please let me know. Anything I could do to help navigate this space, whether it's a terminal diagnosis, or even chronic illness, you don't have to be actively dying or close to it, can help navigate chronic illness, even just natural aging. So any of these things you hear, please keep this in mind. Just tell them you know somebody you can help. So good referral partners for me, social workers. The more they know about us, the better, because they're always looking for more services to help people. Hospices, obviously. I can do a lot of work virtually as well as in person, so I'm willing to speak with hospices anywhere, if nothing else, to educate them on who we are. Funeral directors, insurance brokers, Medicare, Medicaid, always happy to speak with those people as well, so we understand. We do not, as of this time, we are not a regulated industry, so we cannot bill back to insurance. But they're good people for us to understand because I like to keep up on that. Grief counselors as well. So, and estate attorneys, which those are always great people because they're working with people around the same time we are. So those are my referral partners. That is it. I made it 20 seconds to spare. There's my website. There's information on my podcast. I would love to connect with any of you. Happy to share more about what I do. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And for this amazing work that you do. Thank you so much, Nikki. All right.